somehow the Olympics said they want to be more sustainable. So their menu for their hospitality menu, which is what they feed all their execs and stuff like that. It's got a lot more plant. It's 60% plant-based. 60% plant-based, which to me is like that's okay. So you're gonna try to be more sustainable for the environment, but not too much, not too much. And of course, it's not about the animals at all, which is evidenced by the fact that foie gras is on the menu, which, if you know what foie gras is, they force feed these poor geese and ducks via this means called gavage, where they pry their faces open and take a steel tube, jam it down their throats, harming their esophagus in order to force feed them a great amount of food every morning, 3 times a day, until their liver is 10 times the size it's supposed to be. So it's this big, disgusting, diseased liver, and then they chop the liver out of them after ripping out their feathers, of course. First they rip out their feathers, then they yank their guts out, and then they make a thing called foie gras, which really means fat liver or fatty liver or diseased liver. That's what it means. And you could sign a petition. I just put the link from Animal Equality. I just put the link in the community tab of this channel, so you can go find it there. But yeah, you could go ahead and sign it if you would, because it would be great to try to, maybe we could stop it. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? But I think what's interesting, having it on the Olympics menu does serve one good purpose. It allows me to bitch about the Olympics and constantly talk about foie gras, which I know it's not, and it's a little welfarist, to only be talking about ducks and geese. But I think that showcasing some of the worst symptoms of the atrocities that we're carrying out against animals, the worst atrocities of animal slavery, by pointing them out, we can kind of spotlight the worst, but let everyone know everything else. Kind of like in the road up to ending human slavery. Not every person was whipped until you could see the ribs in their backs, but not every slave was, that is. And yet we talked a lot about, activists would talk about the whippings because it was a symptom that was very easy to point at, like, this is what happens when you own somebody else. This is what happens. It turns people into cruel monsters, and it turns humans into, well, Frederick Douglass said that a man becomes a brute, and a brute becomes a slave. Frederick Douglass said that. Anyway, when you own somebody else, what do they turn into? An object. So if you would, please, when you have time, go to the community tab and check out this foie gras